The Eagles' offense has completely changed since the bye week, and players are now just starting to reveal exactly what happened behind closed doors, which has resulted in the meteoric rise in snaps for these young players. Plus, the Birds and Jags made some interesting roster moves yesterday, and why this edge rusher is going to be Howie's #1 target next week. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. The Eagles were back at practice the past few days, and not only rocking those Kelly green helmets, but getting ready for a Jacksonville Jaguars team that will now be without their starting wide receiver in Christian Kirk, and their starting left tackle, as Jacksonville just sent Cam Robinson to Minnesota on Tuesday for draft pick compensation. Now, the Eagles made a few roster moves on their own yesterday by first releasing former Baylor DT Siaki Ika from the practice squad just days after signing him last week, and then used their free practice squad roster spot to sign offensive lineman Braden Daniels, who was a Commander 4th-round pick last year, but missed his entire rookie season due to an injury before getting cut earlier this offseason. Can anyone say Stoutland University's newest student? Also, speaking of the Commanders, mentioned it every single day this week, but if you haven't seen, we're giving away 2 tickets, myself and Josh Davis, to Eagles Commanders, lower level section 106. All the details down below in the comment section. Little hint, you have to be a subscriber. Now, Eagles practice means we get an injury report, and what do you know? No Dallas Goedert, no Darius Slay, no Jalen Carter, or Landon Dickerson. Now, Goedert has been out for already the past couple of weeks, dealing with the hamstring injury, and probably out for a couple more, although spirits don't seem to be that dampened here on Halloween, as he revealed his hangover-inspired Halloween costume with his girlfriend here. Pretty good stuff. Let me know who you're going as, maybe you and the kids, tonight for trick-or-treating. Also, the no Carter or Dickerson at practice, it might scare you a little bit, but don't worry, Carter missed practice last week. Dickerson's missed a couple of practices. He's played every single game. This shouldn't be a problem. My only real injury question is, of course, Darius Slay, and whether or not he can go after suffering a groin injury in the second half versus the Bengals. My guess is they'll take it easy on him because you are playing the Jaguars, who are down a bunch of receivers. Let Isaiah Rodgers out there, who was pretty impressive during the second half of that game against Jamar Chase and company, give him an opportunity and let Slay rest up for another week or so. I think all of us are excited to see what Rodgers can do in this defense in a full starting role, and so it's part of the reason why I want to give him a little bit of playing time. But his film, as Brian Baldinger pointed out last week versus Jamar Chase, is nothing short of very impressive.
Joe Burrow properly reads his safety rotation of the Eagles right here. When Isaiah Rodgers, who is in for Darius Slay, gets one-on-one with Jamar Chase. Bengals down 10. Chase got a step on Isaiah Rodgers, but Rodgers, looking back into that Queen City sun, gets his left hand up, and there's the free safety, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, showing great range. The Eagles get a takeaway to put the game on ice. And when you watch it, it was a great play by Rodgers. First of all, he's in great position, all right? He's in great position on Chase right here. He finds the ball and gets the left hand up, and there's Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with the interception. Eagles don't have a lot of takeaways. That one was big. Put the game on ice right there. Great play by Rodgers, staying in phase on Jamar Chase. Birds made the plays in the fourth quarter.
Now, practice also featured Mekhi Becton back from his concussion the past couple of weeks, which, of course, allowed Tyler Steen to fill in his place and look pretty darn solid. Although, if you're wondering about a whole positional battle, Becton did run with the first-team offensive line yesterday, so I guess he gets his job back, despite Nick Sirianni being a little bit mysterious on who wins that position.
We have great depth. Again, credit to Howie and his staff for the guys that they brought in here. Credit to Coach Stout. To developing that, and Kellen to help develop that talent, and then the credit to the guys of being ready to step in. And I think that, Tyler played a really good game. Mekhi's been playing really good football. Tyler played a really good game. Tyler, played a good game last year when he stepped in and helped us win a divisional game last year.
Honestly, I don't care who plays at right guard. All I care about is the continued changes and really impressive run the offense has been under the past couple of weeks. Like their almost 3 times more use of under center snaps the past 3 weeks, or their heavy usage of Saquon Barkley earlier and more often in games, or their increased throws over the middle, or how about using pre-snap motion way more than they did at any point pre-bye week. Whichever one you pick, it seems like NFL insider Brian Baldinger might have spilled the beans as to why these changes were finally made after he replied to a tweet asking about those changes, saying, quote, "A few guys were tired of the offense and spoke up." Now, if you know anything about Brian Baldinger, it's pretty easy to determine exactly where he got this whole information because he's BFFs with one of the Eagles' key starters. Baldy and Lane Johnson, yeah, they work out together, they hang out together, they clearly have a very strong relationship. I think you pair that information with this video of Lane Johnson talking about the offensive changes, and it's pretty clear what happened.
Yeah, I think, when you put up, our offense is, in the times we haven't played well, we got to look at why, and make some changes and put some new stuff out there that maybe teams haven't game planned for or seen. So, when you do that, like I said, it's when you don't have a week to game plan for it and you have to make in-game adjustments, it's a lot tougher.
Simply put, few players, they go to Nick Sirianni, they voice their frustration in the offense and explain that they have ideas that could fix it. They, of course, implement that, and now we're reaping the benefits of this change. Hats off to everyone who went to the head coach and maybe the offensive coordinator, and hats off to Sirianni and Kellen Moore for being open to get away from their normal, or at least Sirianni's normal, vanilla offensive mess. And Jalen yesterday, he didn't want to admit it to the camera, but during his press conference, he basically confirmed, yeah, the changes, they're happening and definitely helping.
You got a lot of moving parts, from year to year. Things have changed around here, and you can't expect it to be perfect at any point. It's everything is a work in progress, and I think we've done a really good job of communicating and having those conversations, trying to figure out what's the best way to go out there and play efficient football, and that changes throughout the course of a year. But it's about the vision and the mission. I think the vision of saying this is who we are and then going out there and being that.
Now at 5-2 and flying high off of 3 straight really impressive wins, and right now Philadelphia has a 76% chance to make the playoffs. I know, playoffs, and will finish the year with 4 of their last 5 games back at the link, and also have 6 straight weeks where they don't get on a plane, which obviously is catching the attention of everybody around the league, not just Philadelphia Eagle fans.
The Eagles, I'm scared of the Eagles right now.
Really? Why? Because they're doing love, they're running the ball.
They get their stride, and then Saquon, man. Well, I just can't believe he went to the Eagles, man.
Now, we also got a new trade target this week from both ESPN and Philly Voice in Denver's 26-year-old edge rusher Jonathan Cooper. Cooper was a 7th rounder back in 2021, which notably was when Vic Fangio was still the head coach in Denver, and this season already has 5.5 sacks in 8 games. Now, there is an argument that the now 5-3 Broncos might not be sellers, and I get that, but the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport did note last week that multiple Denver pass rushers could still be on the trade market regardless of wins and losses, saying, quote, Denver Broncos edge rusher Baron Browning, another trade candidate, a converted off-ball linebacker who had 4.5 sacks last year. Browning's playing time has dwindled in Denver, and he's in a contract year. He could be available. Denver has depth at the position. Linebacker/edge rusher Jonathan Cooper could draw interest as well. I've said for weeks now, I doubt a major trade happens, the Myles Garretts of the world, the Max Crosbys, but if they were to make a move, it would come on a Monday or maybe Tuesday afternoon of next week following another win versus the Jaguars, and it would be for someone like a Cooper, 5th-round draft pick, 6th-round draft pick, something light to get an additional pass rusher for Fangio's defense. Still, though, you could argue the defense, hey, Thomas, they're balling right now. They're getting tons of pressure, and they're poised for another favorable matchup versus a struggling Jaguars team this week. Why go out there and make a move? And honestly, again, I can't argue with that. I just know a lot of people like to talk trades, and so I'm trying to give you options if they were to go ahead and make a move. Still, though, it's the emergence of the Birds pass rush, the young players starting to play much better, and I think especially Cooper DeJean the past couple of weeks, that makes Fangio pretty confident in what they have. I mean, it's wild to think that DeJean, like the Birds defense, might only be scratching the surface of what he and they are actually capable of for the remaining double-digit games this season.
I think that's a little bit of it, and some of it was just the guys, kind of taking in this new system. This is everybody's first year playing in the system, so guys just kind of getting it down and understanding, what Coach Fangio wants, out of each position. And he's done a good job of explaining it and teaching it, throughout the weeks, and showing us what he expects out of our defense. And I think, we've been able to progress and come closer as a unit, and just really start having fun, out on the field. I think it's getting close. There's always going to be things you can clean up, but I think we can see it, starting to come together, but the thing is now, we just got to continue to progress and continue to make things that much better within our system, because people are gonna find out our weaknesses and trying to exploit them, so our job is to take away those weaknesses, so they can't hurt us.
Now, like DeJean, there's another young Eagle who's emerged the past couple of weeks in Grant Calcaterra, who is suddenly seeming like a lock to play a ton more snaps even when Goddard comes back. Right now, he's 4th in total receiving yards on the entire offense and is really finding his stride. Not only obviously helping the Birds the past couple of weeks, but seemingly gaining the confidence of his quarterback as well.
My confidence has always been there in Grant. As I said, he's always been that guy. We've always had a rapport. We've put a lot of work in over the years. Just all those things add up. The chemistry and having a feel for how he moves, how we connect. All those things add up over time, and I think he's just going to continue to show up. He's a special player, and I think we don't talk about enough the things that he's had to overcome. I was at practice when I saw a terrible concussion, and it was over for him. And for him to be able to come back and play the game, and I always pray for his health and hope for the best when hope for the best in terms of his safety on the field. But this was a game that he was ready to walk away from, and he came back, and I'm fortunate to be able to have have him here.
We definitely forget that Calcaterra was a receiving menace in college at both Oklahoma and SMU. Obviously, due to injuries and Dallas Goedert, he's been quiet the first few years in Philadelphia. But right now, after the past couple of weeks, his impressive performances, I do think we are at a point where even once Dallas Goedert comes back, the Birds will continue to use Grant Calcaterra a lot, especially with the two of them on the field in 12 personnel. Two really good, borderline elite pass-catching tight ends, along with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and of course, Barkley makes this offense continuing to get better and better and even more scary. Now, I got plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks. We're almost to 64,000 subscribers, so hit that red button. That obviously gets you entered into our ticket giveaway, which will happen really during halftime of Jaguars-Eagles during our live stream. We will spin the wheel. We will go ahead and give away those tickets during the games. Make sure you guys go ahead and check us out for that one, and the notification bell as well in case any news happens, including a trade. We're always the first to go live. That's our promise to you guys. I'm Thomas Mon, hanging out on a Thursday. Be safe trick-or-treating. Happy Halloween. This has been the Thomas Mon Show.